Hi, welcome to Bedtime Stories with OPL. I'm Miss Beth. Grab your favorite stuffy, get comfy, and let's get ready for a story.
Alright, Max, it's time for bed. Bark, bark. I know, you don't like bedtime, do you? Bark. What if I read you a story?
Bark.
That'd be good?
Bark.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, you ready?
Bark.
You settled in?
Bark. Bark.
Alright, let me see what I've got in here. How about Snow White and Rose Red?
Bark.
Alright. There once was a poor widow who lived in a lonely cottage. She had 2 children. One was called Snow White and the other Rose Red. They were good, happy, and cheerful girls. Snow White was more quiet and gentle. Rose Red liked better to run about in the meadows and fields, picking flowers and catching butterflies.
Bark. Bark.
Yeah, you like doing that, don't you?
Bark.
Yeah. So, Snow White sat at home with her mother and helped her do the housework or read to her when there was nothing to do. Do you like to help do housework?
Bark.
Yeah, you don't like cleaning up your toys, do you?
Bark. Bark.
One snowy evening, as they were sitting comfortably together, someone knocked at the door. The mother said, "Quick, Rose Red, open the door. It must be a traveler who is seeking shelter." Rose Red went and pushed back the bolt.
Bark. Bark. Bark.
What's a bolt?
Bark.
Well, right here it's talking about a lock. So when it says that she pushed back the bolt, it means that she unlocked the door.
Bark.
All right. Rose Red went and pushed back the bolt, thinking that it was a poor man, but it was not. Can you guess what it was?
Bark.
It wasn't a fish.
Bark.
It wasn't a taco either.
Bark. Bark.
Well, it wasn't hand soap. It was... Okay!
Bark.
Oh, he's not real. I'm sorry. He's not real, I promise. Okay. Yeah, you're a big, strong boy, aren't you? Yeah. You're a good boy, Max. You ready? All right. I'll put the bear back. All right.
Bark.
Is that okay?
Bark.
All right. He's gone. He's not here anymore.
Bark. Bark.
It's fine. All right. Rose Red screamed and sprang back, and Snow White hid herself behind her mother's bed. But the bear began to speak and said, "Do not be afraid. I will do you no harm. I am half frozen and only want to warm myself a little beside you." We gotta be nice to him.
Bark.
We gotta be nice to him.
Bark. Bark. Bark.
Okay, I know. Why don't we see why he's there?
Bark.
Okay. "Poor bear," said the mother, "lie down by the fire. Only take care that you do not burn your coat." Then she cried, "Snow White, Rose Red, come out. The bear will do you no harm. He means well." The bear said, "Here, children, knock the snow out of my coat a little." So they brought the broom and swept the bear's fur clean, and he stretched himself by the fire and growled comfortably. It's all right. It was not long before they grew quite at home and played tricks with their clumsy guest. They tugged at his fur with their hands, put their feet upon his back, and rolled him about, and when he growled, they laughed. Oh, that's a fierce growl you got there, buddy. Yeah. When it was bedtime and the others went to sleep, the bear lay there by the hearth and slept safe from the cold and bad weather. As soon as the day dawned, the 2 girls let him out, and he trotted across the snow into the forest. The bear came back every evening at the same time and laid down by the hearth. When spring came and all outside was green, the bear said one morning to Snow White, "Now I must go away and cannot come back from the whole summer."
Bark. Bark. Bark.
You like that, don't you?
Bark.
I must go into the forest and guard my treasures from the wicked dwarf. In the winter, when the earth is frozen hard, he has to stay below and cannot work his way through. But now when the sun has thawed and warmed the earth, he will break through it and come out to pry and steal.
Bark.
Yeah. Snow White was very sorry for his going away, and as she unbolted the door for him and the bear was hurrying out, he caught against the bolt and a piece of his hairy coat was torn off. That's not very nice. All right, let's see what else happens. It seemed to Snow White as if she saw gold shining through it, but she was not sure. The bear ran away quickly and was soon out of sight behind the trees. A short time afterward, the mother sent her children into the forest to get firewood. There they found a big tree which lay felled.
Bark, 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 bark.
Oh, you want to know what felled means?
Bark.
It means that the tree had been cut down or that it fell down.
Bark. Bark, bark.
The tree which lay felled on the ground, close by the trunk, something was jumping backward and forward in the grass.
Bark.
But they could not make out what it was. When they came near, they saw a dwarf with an old withered face and a snow white beard a yard long. Oh my goodness. The end of his beard was caught in a crevice of the tree. That is kind of funny, isn't it?
Bark, bark.
He glared at the girls with fiery eyes and cried, "Why do you stand there? Can you not come here and help me?" The girls tried very hard, but they could not pull the beard out. It was caught too fast. "I will run and fetch someone," said Rose Red. "You senseless goose," snarled the dwarf. "Why should you fetch someone? Can you not think of something better?" "Don't be impatient," said Snow White. "I'll help you." And she pulled her scissors out of her pocket to cut off the end of his beard. That's pretty funny. As soon as the dwarf was free, he grabbed a bag which lay amongst the roots of the tree and which was full of gold and lifted it up, grumbling to himself, "Rude people to cut off a piece of my fine beard. Bad luck to you."
Bark, 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 bark.
And then he swung the bag upon his back and went off without even once looking at the girls. Sometime after that, Snow White and Rose Red went to catch a fish for dinner. Do you like fish?
Bark, 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 bark.
Yeah, you do like fish. There's nothing over here. I'm sorry. It's just in the story. Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe we'll have fish tomorrow.
Bark.
Sound good? All right. Let's see. Where was I? Yes. As they came near the brook, they saw something like a large grasshopper jumping toward the water as if it were going to leap in. They ran to it and found it was the dwarf. Yeah. "The fish wants to pull me in," cried the dwarf. He had been sitting there fishing, and unluckily the wind had twisted his beard with the fishing line. Just then a big fish bit the line and was pulling the dwarf toward him. The girls came just in time. They held him fast and tried to free his beard from the line, but all in vain. Beard and line were entangled fast together. Nothing was left but to bring out the scissors and cut the beard, whereby a small part of it was lost. When the dwarf saw that, he screamed out, "Is that nice, you toadstool, to disfigure one's face?" Then he took out a sack of pearls which lay in the rushes, and without saying a word, he dragged it away and disappeared behind a stone. Soon afterward, the mother sent the two girls to town to buy needles and thread and laces and ribbons. On their way, they noticed a large bird hovering in the air, flying slowly round and round above them. It sank lower and lower and at last settled near a rock not far off. Soon they heard a loud cry. They ran up and saw with horror that the eagle had seized the dwarf and was going to carry him off. The girls, full of pity, at once took tight hold of him and pulled against the eagle so long that at last it let him go. "Could you not have done it more carefully?" cried the dwarf. You dragged at my brown coat so that it's all torn and full of holes, you helpless, clumsy creatures.
Bark, bark, bark.
I know, he's so mean. Then he took up a sack of precious stones and slipped away again under the rock into his hole. The girls went on their way and did their business in the town. As they crossed the heath,
Bark, 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 bark.
what's a heath?
Bark.
A heath is like a big open grassland, kind of like a field.
Bark.
Yeah, good for running.
Bark, bark.
Yeah. So, when they crossed the heath again on their way home, they surprised the dwarf, who had emptied out his bag of precious stones and had not thought that anyone would come by there at such a late hour. The evening sun shone upon the brilliant stones. They glittered and sparkled so beautifully that the girls stood still and looked at them. "Why do you stand there staring?" cried the dwarf, with his gray face became copper red with rage. He was still screaming when a loud growling was heard, and a black bear came trotting toward them out of the forest. The dwarf sprang up in fright and in fear cried, "Dear Mr. Bear, spare me! I will give you all of my treasures. Grant me my life. What do you want with such a slender little fellow as I? For mercy's sake, eat the girls!" He did say that.
Bark.
The bear took no heed of his words, but gave the wicked creature a single blow with his paw, and he did not move again. The girls had run away, but the bear called to them, "Snow White and Rose Red, do not be afraid. Wait, I will come with you." Then they knew his voice and waited. And when he came up to them, suddenly his bear skin fell off, and there stood a man clothed all in gold. I know, right?
Bark.
Wow. "I am a king's son," he said, "and I was cursed by that wicked dwarf who had stolen my treasures. I have had to run about the forest as a bear until I was freed by his death. Snow White was married to the prince, and Rose Red to his brother. They divided between them the great treasure which the dwarf had gathered together in his cave. Their mother lived peacefully and happily with her children for many years, where she tended 2 rose trees, one white and one red."
Bark,
Hey, Ann.
bark.
Did you like that story, Max?
Bark, bark, bark.
Yeah. Are you ready for bed now?
Bark.
Oh, come on, Max.
Bark.
You need to get your sleep
Bark, bark.
so you can eat fish and run in fields and chase butterflies.
Bark, bark, bark. Bark.
Yeah. Do you want me to snuggle you up in your blanket? Bark! Would that help you feel better?
Bark, bark.
Boop. There's your face. Good night, Max.
Bark, bark.
That was fast.
I hope you enjoyed our story tonight. We have these great stories and lots more like them at the library. Come find out where your imagination can take you. I'll see you next time. Sweet dreams!